In this video, we are doing the rear suspension and hubs on my 2014 Honda Accord LX. Since we were already working on the car, it's already jacked up, so we started off by removing the rear tire and then removing the brake system, which was overall not too bad. We just had to heat up the retaining screw that holds the rotor to the hub, and then we just used an impact driver to remove it. It's a good thing I put that. Booyah. Then we started out with removing the lower control arm to give us a little bit of room with having access to the bolts for the hub. The lower control arm was overall pretty easy to remove. All the bolts happen to come out pretty easily without any issue.
Yep.
Luckily, the bolts for the hub themselves also were overall pretty easy to get to and remove. We just used an impact driver to remove them. We did have to remove the e-brake cable to make a little bit of more room to get access to one of the bolts easier, and then we just simply used a hammer to tap out the hub because of corrosion. It was being held in pretty tight. Luckily on this side we didn't have to use a slide hammer to remove it. Before putting in the new hub, of course, we made sure the surface was clean both inside where the hub sits and on the outside. And I'm going to say this now, we definitely use the anti-seize on almost everything we could possibly use it on. That means inside the hub port, or whatever you want to call it, we just made sure that we didn't get too close to the actual speed sensor or ABS sensor, but we definitely put anti-seize in there to hopefully prevent the corrosion that we had this time around. And of course we cleaned up the bolts and put anti-seize on them as well. Once everything was cleaned up, we then installed the new hub, and it went in very smooth, which was expected once all the cleaning was done. And then, of course, after putting the hub back on, we put the bolts back in to hold it in place. The only thing I will say is that on these hubs, I didn't end up painting them like I did the fronts, which I do regret because obviously I wanted to do it. The reason I did the fronts was to hopefully help with the rust. I should have undone on this, but I did end up forgetting to do that. And we also did clean up the hub-centric rings for the rear wheels. Finally, once all that was done, we then continued with the replacement of the rear control arms.
Marking the alignment bolts so we can kind of get it in the same alignment. I mean, I'm going to get a full alignment regardless, but we're just doing that. Little fun fact, so I clearly ordered IBOC control arms, and I just took this one out of the bag, and what does it say? What does that say? It says SPC. So there you go. IBOC just simply uses SPC control arms.
Before installing them, we made sure that the control arms were all the way tight, and then we expanded it using the middle adjuster to the length of what the stock one was. Once that was adjusted, then of course we started reinstalling it. First we started with the one we took off originally, which was the lower control arm. I'm sure there's a different name for it, but I'm just going to call it the lower control arm. Now the stock arms do have welded on nuts to the actual arm itself, and so the new arms came with actually separate nuts that you're going to use with the stock bolts. We did end up reusing the stock bolts, although I personally would have liked to replace them. At this point we just reused the stock ones. We cleaned them up, of course, and used anti-seize on them to help them with corrosion.
Being slanted?
No.
See if there's any more air in there.
Okay.
Then we started on the other control arm. I don't know which one this would fall under. Let's call it the rearward one. And as you saw, the cordless impact definitely did not do it. This was a half-inch cordless impact, and it would not break loose that bolt. Now, granted, this is not the brushless version of the brand, and also it's not their most powerful, so it did have a little bit of an issue, but the corrosion definitely was contributing to the fact that the bolt was in there. Once we got the bolt out of for that control arm that was attached to the nut code, then we worked on the one that was attached to the subframe, and this thing was on there. We needed to use a lot of heat and a lot of different tools to keep trying to spin it to break it loose. Ultimately, it was just non-stop heat and just pure force until it finally broke loose. Again, we used many different tools to try to force it out, and it just took a lot of labor to finally get it out.
Finally.
Ta-da!
All that little bit of rust in there. I think this bushing's still good, right?
Yeah, you don't have to torture that.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Then, of
Solid.
course, after getting it finally out, I did the same thing that I did with the previous control arm. I made sure it was all the way as short as possible, collapsed evenly, and then I started expanding it using the middle adjuster of the arm to make it as the same length as the stock. And of course, once that was done, we installed it into the vehicle, and absolutely we cleaned up the bolt and used anti-seize.
All right, go ahead and pull it. Got it. So I readjusted the middle to reduce the length to give me a little more ease.
Easier to install.
Yeah. And then just, I'll try to match it up with the stock one to see what the length looks like.
And just like the last one, we're doing again with rust. That's right, this bolt is seized once again into this bushing sleeve of the control arm. So to help it, we modified some vice grips to be able to put it in between the bushing and the actual mounting place so we can clamp onto the sleeve and try to force it to loosen up. Again, this took a lot of heat and a lot of different tools and a lot of force to get this out. And once all that effort was used, we were finally able to get it out. And here's my warning right now. I am going to vent in this next clip. I'm going to use some words maybe not suitable for kids, but let's just say these two bolts definitely had me going.
All I can push is the screwdriver.
That's out. Wow, look at all that rust. Look at all that rust. Anybody that tells me the manufacturer did it right, you're full of shit. Because if they did it right, they would have put anti-seize to prevent an alignment bolt from seizing to the shaft of the bushing where then it won't line.
A bolt that's supposed to move.
A bolt that's supposed to move doesn't move because it's rotted because there was no anti-seize on there.
Now that that's done, we focused on removing the rest of the arms and installing the final one. Now to do that, we messed up. That original first arm that we removed, well, it was in the way to remove this last arm that I just had a meltdown with. So we had to undo that arm and then install the one that we just were trying to remove and then put that back on. Now luckily we didn't have to fully remove it. We just had to unbolt the part that's to the frame or subframe or whatever you want to call it, and then lower it just enough to be able to take out that upper arm. Once that was done, we of course installed everything back up, and yes, we definitely tightened everything once the car was on the ground. And I of course did anti-seize the face of the hub before putting the rotors back on to help prevent rust. And I did also forget to mention that we did anti-seize the actual control arms where the adjustment is. This way, hopefully, no rust can seize that part, and the adjustment aspect of it will be difficult to do. And of course, once we completed the first side, we repeated the same process on the other side.
Are you guys running back and forth? I trust it.
Okay, give me that hook, would you?
So then how is this rear
Huh?
Look at that. Can't play as nothing. You should step out. That was actually kind of sick. Oh, it's coming. Oh, there goes my floor.
Yeah.
Hopefully I got the right guy or thing or whatever. If not, then
Oh. There it is. Probably should spray that one down too.
which one?
Let it soak in.
You seem to be having an easier time on this side. Easier than on this side.
I wanted to do this.
I believe they did.
There's two.
Give you two.
Yeah. Is that it? No more bolts to clean?
There we go. Pull a little towards you. Probably easier with those arms connected.
It's possible.
That's okay. Just life. Don't put any anti-seize on there?
We can.
Because you put it on the backside, right?
And that's pretty much for this video. Overall, not too bad of a job, but it is annoying when stuff isn't done the way it should have been from the manufacturer. Outside of that, I can't wait to drive this thing. It's been a long time coming. It's been taking a very long time to get it done. I am hoping to get this thing done hopefully soon. For now, the rear end is done, and in the next video, we are going to be working on the front sway bar with the adjustable end links. And a little teaser about the front sway bar. Safe to say the manufacturer did it wrong again, but you'll have to wait to see that. Make sure to subscribe to see that next video. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.